What's going on? I wanted to talk to you for a few minutes today about the home buying process and the steps it takes to get into a home. So the first step that many people tell you is to get pre-qualified. And that's almost the first step, but I'm going to tell you the first step is actually to talk to a good realtor. A professional realtor is going to be able to help you, discuss your needs and your wants in a property, but most importantly in the beginning, they're going to be able to direct you to the right lenders, hopefully a few of them, that will be able to help you the best way. There's lenders that have great loan programs out there that might be able to fit your needs, whether you're a first-time home buyer, maybe down payment assistance, some deal and specialize directly in VA loans. Lots of great lending options out there. We have a lot of great local lenders, so that's my first step. Now, going from there, after you talk to your realtor, then you're going to want to get pre-qualified with a lender. And that process is usually super simple. They just ask for your financial information in the beginning. When you get pre-qualified, that's a little less information than getting totally pre-approved. And getting pre-qualified is really the most important step because you're going to know what you're going to qualify for a home loan. And you're going to know, what properties you're going to want to look at with your realtor. So those qualifications help you set a realistic budget that we can in turn sit down and find out what is truly on the table for you to be able to get within that budget. Maybe you can get everything that you want within that budget. Or maybe there's certain things that you need and maybe some wants are going to have to wait for a later date. So at that point, that's when we start looking for a home, right? So these days, the internet goes a long way towards the home search. And so realtors aren't always the ones that find the one that you want to look at that ends up being the ultimate perfect home for you. Now, we do offer a lot of guidance in that. We will provide homes, but the consumer has so much at their fingertips these days that the value in a realtor isn't just pulling listings these days. The value in a realtor is to be able to help guide you through the process, to help you negotiate the perfect deal on your house, and to really ease the burden along the way because it can be a complicated process if you're trying to go it alone. Now, you can look at a lot of homes in one day. You can spread it out over time. It just depends on whatever fits your situation. So don't feel like you have to cram it all into one day. In fact, I wouldn't recommend looking at more than 5 or so in a single day because you tend to forget, what each house looks like. So try and spread it out if you can, if you've got some time while you're here. If you're traveling in, I totally understand. You need to make that decision pretty quick. But if you have that leeway, I would try to make those showings over a couple of days. It'll really help you. So when you find the perfect home, the next step is going to be negotiating, right? It's going to be writing that offer and seeing the best deal that we can get for you. As a realtor, I'm going to help you find out what the perfect price is going to be for you to offer for the home. Price isn't the only thing. I'm going to help you with the other terms, how fast you need to close. Can you negotiate closing costs in that the seller is going to pay for you? There's a lot of different things that we can do to help make the best deal for you that might not necessarily just come down to price. So at that point, we're going to get all of the details in order and submit that offer, and we're going to wait. Usually you hear back same day. Sometimes it could take a day or two. It just really depends on the seller and their situation. So at that point, once we've negotiated everything, then we're going to go under contract. And that's when the fun begins. All the high fives start, but we have another period. It's called the inspection period, which here in Texas, we call the option period. Now, the option period gives you the opportunity to get out of the contract, to terminate for literally any reason within that time. But most of the time, if a contract's going to terminate, it's probably going to be because of repairs. So you're going to have your inspections done at that time, and then we're going to ask for anything that's just a deal breaker for you, anything that's going to maybe be expensive or affect how you can live in the home in the future. And we're going to do our best to negotiate for the seller to take care of some of these things. So then we're past the option period. The seller's agreed to take care of the HVAC system or whatever it might be that was not in the best shape in the home. And after that, we're going to go ahead and ask the lender to order the appraisal. Now, the appraisal means that the house has to appraise, meaning appraiser has to value it in their report for at least what the contract price is. So if we get to a point where the appraisal comes back and it's low, then again, that's where I come in and I can help you try to negotiate that with the seller and to try to get them to come to the table if possible. But fingers crossed, everything goes smooth and it appraises, then we're really past most of the hurdles that can happen in a transaction. At this point, you're going to want to be careful as a buyer not to go buy new furniture. Maybe don't go get married, because that's going to affect your credit and how you're going to be able to buy a house. You're not going to want to go buy a new car, okay? So as long as we can stay within kind of those boundaries and just wait until after closing to get those done, then it should be smooth sailing from there. So next up is closing. So hopefully at this point, the lender's been able to get through their underwriting process and get all their T's crossed and their I's dotted, and we get to the closing table. So I'll meet you there at the title company. We'll be talking plenty before this along the way. And at that point, that's when you're going to sign a big old stack of papers, depending on what the loan type is. It could be a smaller stack, it could be a much larger stack, depending on if it's VA or an FHA loan. But that's also when you're going to bring your down payment funds and closing cost funds if we have not negotiated those in with the seller paying for those. You're also going to want to bring your driver's license and be ready to celebrate, because it's only going to be about 30 minutes or so, and then you're going to have all the paperwork signed. There's one final step we have to wait for, and that's for funding. And that just means the lender's going to fund on the loan. So they're going to send the money into the title company, and at that point, it's closed and it's your house that is funded. So that's when you can take the keys, go in. If you want to make alterations, that's when they can start. So congratulations, you own a home, and I hope this video was helpful. I'd love to help you in that buying process if that's something that you're looking at doing. It starts pretty simple, just trying to figure out what you need, what you want, and how we can help you get there. Hope to help.